Welcome to all learner in Edu online classes. I am continuing your series of advanced web designing. Today we see the float and the display property, then discuss its syntax structure and usage in the programming part. Go through one example of float property and another display property. So let's begin the session of journey of learning with the float and display property. Float property, it specifies how an element should float in a web page. The float property specifies an element of the left or right side of the container, allowing text and inline elements to wrap around it. Then it gives the element is removed from its normal flow of the page and still remaining part of the flow in contrast to the absolute positioning. Now jump to the syntax structure. This is a syntax of float property, that float and passing its value. So there are following type of the property. First is the left property. The elements float on the left side of the container. Next, right. Elements float on the right side of the container, and last is the none. It is a default property and show the element as it is. Now move to the example section of the program. So this is a common part of a programming language. Here I am specifying style, float left, then property again float right, then float left, and then float right. We are specifying float property and its value left or right in a document declaration section. So this is an example, and see the output of the programming in your window. Next is the display property. Display property displays specify the display behavior of an element. In the HTML, the default display property value is taken from HTML specification or from the browser or user default style sheet. The display property in the CSS define how the component div, hyperlink and heading are going to place on the web page. It specifies how the element is displayed. As the name suggests, it is used to define the display of different part of a web page. The syntax structure of this property is display and passing its value. The values are inline. It is used to display an element as inline element. Then block. It is used to display an element as block element. It starts on a new line and takes up the whole width of the browser window. Then block inline. It is a similar to inline element. The difference is you are able to set width and height. And then none, the element is completely removed. Move to program example section. Common section. Specify the display properties inline. Then again move to the common part, and this is the output window of your program. So resources are in front of you. Go through it for the depth knowledge. Next session, ordered list we discuss.